Hi, I'm Matt Bundy. I'm in the Idaho State House of Representatives, where today we're going to take a little tour of the Capitol, and we're going to do a few other things, so hopefully you'll get to know me a little bit better. So this is one of my favorite places in the Capitol. I like to sit here in the rotunda and glance up at all the stars at the top there, and you'll notice there's 13 big stars for the 13 original colonies and 43 stars total, indicating that Idaho is the 43rd state in this great union. I love the lighting, and I love everything about this place. Whenever I do tours here with my students, I always like to bring them to the Liberty Bell. In 1950, the U.S. Department of Treasury used the Liberty Bell in their U.S. bond campaign, and in recognition of that, a bell factory in France, as a thank you for all that we did in World War II, created a bell for all 48 states at the time in 1950, and it even rings now. This one's not cracked, so if you're ever up here and I'm with you, then we'll go ahead and ring the Bell of Freedom together. Okay, as we continue to walk around the Capitol, we're going to come upon our Women's Suffrage Monument, where you see the monument holding shoes, and if you look at all behind there, there's shoes representing the different decades all the way back to the 19th Amendment in 1919. The monument here to my left is a monument for the pioneers of the Oregon Trail, a very vital piece of Idaho history and our place in this westward expansion and the westward movement of the pioneers off to our Oregon, and many of them staying here in Boise because it's a much better place to live. Our next stop here is the Lincoln statue. In 1915, this was donated to the state of Idaho, and most historians believe it's the oldest statue of Lincoln west of the Mississippi. So when you look at the Lincoln statue, you'll notice that he's facing west to show Lincoln facing west and looking west out of the Grand New Territory of Idaho. The other thing you'll notice in his left hand is a somewhat unrolled Emancipation Proclamation, which reminds us of the Lincoln quote about government of the people, for the people, and by the people. As I walk up the stairs on the west side of the Capitol building, behind my shoulder here, you see that orange building, the GAR, the Grand Army of the Republic. This was built by Civil War veterans, and it serves as a precursor to our current Veterans of Foreign Wars and American Legion units. And as a 20-year Air Force veteran, the idea of honoring our veterans from the Civil War all the way to today is something that's very dear to my heart. As a member of the Joint Finance and Appropriations Committee, I get to every day come in here and do my work in this beautiful room. This room is the former Supreme Court for the state of Idaho. When the new Supreme Court was made across the street, this building was turned into a committee room for the Joint Finance and Appropriations Committee, and as you can tell, it's one of the most beautiful rooms in this beautiful building. Okay, we're in what's called the Well in the House of Representatives. I really enjoy the history and the symbolism in this room. The architect, John Turtelot, went to Washington, D.C., took a tour of the Capitol and decided there's no windows, there's not enough light. So that's why we call this the Capitol of Light. And his thought process in having all the natural light here is that the legislators like myself would be remembered of the virtue of light and the transparency of light. This Representative Matt Bundy, I'd like to thank everybody that was able to come with me today on this tour of the Capitol so that we can enjoy the history and the significance of the capital of the state of Idaho.